Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 30th. We are 90 days out from December 29th. The DTD2 this week, we are calling our Ys and our Zs, and we are texting our Fs. Calling your Ys and your Zs, texting your Fs. There's a lot going on. There's so many classes coming up. We've got business planning on the way. I know people are going to agent financials. I know there's market center financials. There are a lot of choices in front of you of things that you can attend and grow. You can pay to be in the room. It might just be on the menu of services here. Right now is a great time to think about what's most important for your growth moving into next year. What's most important for your growth moving into next year. So consider for yourself, when we talk about that achievement ceiling, and we do this in Business Planning Clinic, we talk about this, and there's a roadmap, and it's called E to P. It's really called entrepreneurial to purposeful. Entrepreneurial to purposeful. And entrepreneurial is your God-given talent. Entrepreneurial are the skills that you have, and not that, because again, I know this will shock you. It's one of those words that I feel gets just thrown around. It gets tossed around too much. Everyone's an entrepreneur. Now, I'm not saying that you aren't. There's the phrase of entrepreneurial spirit. And what's behind that is the desire to do something within ourselves and deliver that outward, right? Just because we are independent contractors, just because we are real estate salespeople, does not really make us entrepreneurs. We have to have something to sell. The irony of the industry in which we work is we don't really own the commodity. A lot of salespeople work for a company and it's just piling up in the warehouse, and they've got to sell it. If you've got somebody in your life who's a medical sales rep, I mean, that's, you're going in talking to doctors and nurses and physicians, and this is the next big thing. What you do, so wildly different. You've got to go out and talk to one human and convince them to join you in going to the market to sell the commodity that our industry requires. And then on the other hand, go find the human that wants to purchase it, or market well enough that you attract enough humans. But we all know it would be great if we could consistently be tracking that person down. So as you look at the schedule today and the rest of this week for the rest of the quarter, because we are in the final day of Q3. Tomorrow's October 1st. And Q4 activities, as you know, will bring us Q1 results for the most part. So we're gonna talk today about what are we doing? What are we proud of in our business? As we exit here today, it is a Tuesday. You've got Fight Club. That's every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. The Zoom room is open for you to come in and make your phone calls, work on golden letters, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're prepping your stuff to door knock on Thursday. I find it fascinating the amount of people that will tell me, well, I don't really love the phone to me. I'm better off face to face. And then yet when there's an opportunity to go door knock, they're like, well, I don't know if I really want to I don't want to bother people at home. When are we going to bother people? You don't want to call them. You don't want to door knock. And it's not that you don't want to, your fear that you may be battling And we always say the same thing. Well, I don't have to say, what would I deliver if these are your thoughts? Maybe they're not your thoughts. Maybe you love door knocking. We've got people that do it consistently. Here in New England, especially in New Hampshire, what is it, Dixville Notch, where the first vote is cast across the country at midnight on election day. First in the nation, right? So people will say, well, I don't want to go canvass necessarily and go hit that neighborhood. It's going to be, weird. They might think I'm canvassing for a political figure. Here's when they'll know that you're not canvassing for a political figure: when you consistently keep visiting that neighborhood. Because the language I use with you all the time, I don't just say it to say, go be the mayor of that town. Go be the person that knows when restaurants open, when they close for the season, when the next community event is, who's moving, why they're moving, where to get cupcakes and haircuts and steak tips. And I know all of that sounds maybe awkward, but that's really the information we're delivering. I don't want to say that's what we're selling. So whatever you're doing to make sure you're connecting with people, let's do that together. Adam and his crew last week did a call to action. They had a call night here in Portsmouth in the training room. And they got some great results, the people that were in that room that night. So this isn't just a, hey, 9 to 11 fight club. It's for people who are just getting started. It's for people who are going to be consistent. I trust at this point you understand that as you coach, I'm not putting anything on the calendar just to fill we don't need to fill the calendar. I've had people around the country, they're like, God, I look at a week at your market center. It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu. It's robust. And pardon my French, it's not bullsh. I'm not jamming something like, there's a gap there. And it's not there for everything to be like, I'm going to go do this, 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 and this. My question for you now, the reason we're having this conversation today, I guess I'm the only one talking, so it's a versation. Let's start to think about what we're doing. We love to talk about what we're doing. The deeper question is, yes, and are you thrilled with the results? We talk about this all the time. We just had a meeting last week, 2 days, our planning meeting for 2026. And when we talk about what we deem as successful, we're talking about 4X. You might hear people say 3X. We lean towards 4X. Like, that's the barometer for us. If you're investing $1, are you getting 4X, which means you're getting your dollar back. And we'll get to that in a second. And then there's 3X profitability. You'll hear Gary talk about that. Is that going to happen every time? No. And more often than not, when you talk about the fact, well, that didn't work. Well, did we squeeze the berry enough to get the juice? I think we lean into some of these tools and we're like, well, paid for it. And then we sit and we look at it. There's an old Bugs Bunny cartoon, 1,000 years old, Michigan J. Bullfrog. And the guy had this dancing bullfrog. And every time somebody would show up to see the bullfrog dance, he'd pull the curtain and the bullfrog was just sitting there with a top hat, staring back at them. We have to dance. The frog's not going to dance on its own. the things that we're paying for, whether they're tools or systems or models, they still require us to be involved. Jay Baer, who's been on stage as of late at KW events, phenomenal speaker, by the way. And at Mega Chicken, he was talking about the math that some of the greats are using around AI, and it should be 20, 60, 20. 20% is the prompt that you give it. How well are you prompting? And you can keep adding layers, but people that really want to be efficient, they're giving it a really concise, specific prompt. And then AI does its magic. Whatever you're using, don't forget we have Gemini Pro access. You log into Gemini, you log into Google A. So Gemini, through your Gmail account, through your Google suite here at KW, when you're logged in, like mine's tlindsay@kw.com, or my timothy.lindsay@kwclm.com, both tied to KW. So when I use Gemini through that, you have Gemini Pro. Or maybe you love ChatGPT. I'm gonna just like the CRM thing. I'm not worried about which one you're using. I'm making sure you understand you have Pro access to Gemini. If you already love ChatGPT, some people are starting to dig Perplexity is a new one. There's Grok. There's a whole bunch of them. And that's good because they're going to keep fighting to get better. That's good for us as the consumer. But 20% is the prompt you give AI. 60% is the heavy lifting that AI does that creates efficiencies for us. But when that comes out, when that product gets spit back out to you, we've got to go back in and humanize it. You got to go back in and make it yours. Because people are going to start to see, and it'll be a whole new level of enjoying human touch again, is when people realize the differentiation between, oh, that's an AI email, and that might have AI assist, but this is a human email. That's going to matter. So when we use these tools, we still have to put our human touch on it. So whatever you're using, we can't be dependent on the fact that that's going to do all the work. So join us for Fight Club. If you're sitting now on the last day of Q3 and you're wondering, certainly as a spouse, as a partner, as a parent, a cat or dog owner, if you've got sons or daughters, where did the summer go? Well, she's gone. We are now in the autumnal equinox. We're here. This is fall now, even though it's going to be 70 something again today. Yes, I'm wearing shorts. We don't have an under the desk camera. There's no need for that. And tomorrow's activities will be January's results. And I love you, and I don't care if you don't want to hear it. Nathan hired me to be the voice in the room that most people don't want to hear when I'm saying stuff like that. And yet my job isn't to motivate you. I could offer inspiration. My job is to uncover your motivation, to help you figure out what your motivation is by asking questions. Questions like, what is the thing that you used to do that worked so well that you just stopped doing it? What have you gotten away from? Go back to the blocks this year in which you were seeing massive success, and then go back 90 days if you're tracking in your calendar and say, what was my face doing then? And it's more important than what you were doing, right? Bold law, be, do, achieve. The do is important. It's who you were being in that moment. Who are you being right now? And I'm not trying to get overtly existential on a Tuesday morning. I wouldn't do that to you. But I believe in my heart, this is the most important part. You can't just be like, I'm going to go do this. Who's the person taking that action? Because you know, if you're going through something, anything, and I say this all the time as your coach, this is how I feel about my role here at 463. My job is to make sure your head is clear and it's attached to your heart. God, family, business. And whatever that first word for you is. For me, it's God. For me, it's my faith. And it's God, family, business because, yeah, I feel personally my faith is what centers me. My family is what grounds me. My business is what supports the whole trip. You know, if you're going through something, the business doesn't matter. It does, but you can't really lock and load. So is there something on your head? Is there something on your heart? A conversation you need to have with somebody? A forgiveness you're looking for? A forgiveness you need from somebody else before it makes sense to get to work? Because you can go back if you had a rough patch in 2025 and you can find that spot in your calendar and you can realize be, do, achieve is really important. Who was I being then? And I'm not saying, I'm not placing blame, but I'm going to ask you who you're spending time with. We're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. If you're the smartest person at the table, find a different table. And not that those people can't be part of your life. Are they lifting you up? Are they lifting your lid? Are they making you think bigger? Are they challenging you to be the best version of yourself? Or are you hanging with the same crowd that erodes your spirit over the weekend? I say this all the time, especially to our newer, younger agents. Do not Frankenstein yourself in this industry. Don't come in here, and we are not perfect. But don't come into the 463 space built on systems and models and learning and growth and encouragement and big, hairy, audacious goals. And then Friday at 5:01, you go hang with people that tell you that your dreams are stupid. Because then you get back to Monday and everything in this brain of yours that fires all the fast twitch muscles, all the emotion in your heart is atrophied and you have to start over again. And maybe by Thursday, you're back to where you want to be. So think about who you spend the most time with. Are they challenging you to be better? At 11 o'clock today, the Wealthy Agent webinar with Matthew Erdman. Fantastic conversation about what you're doing with the money that you're creating, with the opportunity you're creating for your loved ones. Whether it's investments, property investments, what you're doing to grow that wealth that you're building with all of your work. And then today at 1 o'clock, the midday protocol, where we have the conversations about the 3 lead indicators. What are you doing insofar as having conversations, setting appointments, and of course, getting those contracts signed? This week, because we're doing the 12 tactics of shift, this week we're talking about tactic number 5, getting to the table, converting those leads, and how the best of the best are doing it. We touched on this yesterday morning. So often you might be in conversations with people, and it's whether it's in an all partners meeting afterwards while you're having lunch, or maybe you're getting together with agents from the market center, agents from outside of the market center that serve in your same marketplace. Maybe you're gone to mega or family or a mastermind or a regional event, or you're watching a podcast. Notice I love watching podcasts because I'm a dork. We'll get to that later. Now, more often than not, shameless plug for Jason Abrams, everyone that comes on to the MREA podcast, there's going to be a one sheet for what they talked about after the fact. There's going to be a history of success. On how they do what they do. And they're being interviewed by Jason because it's working. Sometimes we get in conversation with others and they're like, here's what I do. I do this and then this and then this. And they talk about all the things they do. And the most important question is, yes, and how are those results? Is all of that helping you hit your goals? And if it's not, what could you be doing differently? Something to consider. Join us for Fight Club. We'd love to see you at the midday protocol too. These two things on our calendar every day are there to give you the opportunity and the environment to be successful and do the next right thing, and then talk about what you did and learn and grow with others. And your input will help others grow as well. 9 to 11 at KWFightClub.com, and then 1 o'clock at Tim'sOffice.com for the midday protocol. We'd love to see you for those conversations. Look forward to seeing you in and around the market center and the internet. Have a great day.